What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's Mobile Development. So it's been a long that I have created a video on mobile development. I was busy with some other stuff, and today it's React Native. We will talk about React Native, and let me show you the thing which I will going to build today in React Native. So this is a simple page for the product listings. So we can divide this page into three parts. So the first one is the header, and then we will have horizontally scrolled list which contains the main categories, and by clicking on each category we can filter out the grid view below. So we will start with this basic thing. Let me move to my VS Code. So this is the basic project setup. If I would open this app.tsx file, you would see I have just removed the boilerplate code and just written a small XML code with having a view and text inside it, displaying the hello world. And I have already run this application on my iPhone 11 simulator. You can see on the top left we have hello world up there. So what we're gonna do is so I got this challenge in one of my interviews. So I had to prepare this screen using the mock JSON data that they have provided. So I will show you step-by-step procedure that how I made that mock JSON thing, and in later videos I will probably take this project to the next level and call some real APIs as well, and the usage of some of the state management thing plus the React query thing, how you can call APIs over that. But before that we will maintain a structure. We will not going to use any React navigation or routing in this because we just want to create this simple screen here. So I will just going to show that the challenge I got, how I prepared that challenge using just this screenshot. So I had this screenshot only, and I need to create the exact same screen on using React Native. So let's jump to the VS Code again. So what we had on our mock JSON, I can create a folder here in my source. Let's create a folder called mock data. Let's say mock data, and inside this folder we will create a couple of JSON, like we have a product list JSON, so that we can display all these products having the title and a little bit description, and then pricing, and then image. So we have this product list, and then on top in this horizontal list view we will have something like categories. So let me just quickly create a file name categories.json. So in this categories.json, what we're going to do, let me copy the code and paste it here so that you would know. So I created this JSON by imagining by looking into the screen that how my categories will look like, and we want to display our categories title in this horizontal list view. So I created this JSON. So in this JSON is pretty straightforward. It has the category name, personal care, and then we have subcategories array, which contains three subcategories by the way. And then this is just for the example purpose. I can remove that thing for now, and I will come back here later, and just to show you, if you want to display some more example categories, we can display them all along. So this is our categories.json. The next JSON file or mock JSON file would be like product list.json, and in that product list.json let me copy the JSON code that I have created. So this is basically the list of products that we want to display down below in grid view. We will create that UI in a bit. So these are the items in the product. So this is pretty straightforward JSON that I have created. So again, I just got this screenshot and I created this mock JSON on my own just to show you that how I completed this challenge. in React Native. So let's save this file again. And now the idea is to build a UI which we have seen in the screenshot. So let's divide this thing. Like, obviously if we have this JSON coming from our server, of course we would need some kind of a model classes or model interfaces, you can say, because I'm using TypeScript. So I will create some model classes so that you would have some idea that how we can map this JSON into our model classes. So let's create a folder in source which is called API, let's say, and inside that API, first thing first, we would create a file which is called product service. So this is also a good practice that if you create the service file separately, so what you can do in the future, you can manage all the application level state like Redux or maybe Mobex that you are using in your application. So this API folder is responsible for your business logic and data, fetching the data from the server, or you can push things to the server, you can write code, your business logic separately in the API folder. For now we have mock data, so we will consume these two JSON files and we will create our product service. Before creating product service, I will create another folder inside API which is called models. So inside models we would need basically three TS files, or you can say three model classes. So first thing is we can create this subcategories thing. This subcategories array should be mapping to the exact model of subcategories. So let's create a file which is called subcategory.ts, and inside that subcategory, let me grab the code real quick just to save time. So here's the code for subcategory. So nothing fancy, it's just creating a class and exporting that class as well. And we have some variables inside class like name, ID, product IDs. Product ID is basically the IDs that we are getting from the category. So if you go to category here, we will have product IDs array like this. So they have provided me this kind of raw data that I have converted in the form of JSON, and these are my JSON files. So subcategory is pretty simple. We have name, ID, and product IDs. So as you can see, we have product IDs, which is type number, ID is again type number, name, and then selected. So this selected is I put it myself because if you see, we need to make the item selectable, this horizontal list view. So this is our subcategory.ts, and next file we want to create is our category.ts file. So obviously we will be creating into the same models folder. Let's say category.ts file. So inside that category.ts file, let me export the category class and copy that here. So as you can see, our category.json has name, and if I collapse it like this, so we have two things in our main categories. So first thing is name, and the other thing is subcategories. We can also give it an ID of the main category, but that's fine for now in our mock data. So in category.ts, you can see we have subcategory as a subcategories array, and that we have already created here. So let's just import it, hit command dot, and you will import directly from here. So these two model classes are there. Now we can save that. And the third model file we need is called product.ts. So in this file we will have like our product. So if we move to the product list.json, you will see we have an array of product with multiple items. So we can map these items into our model class, which is the product.ts. So inside the product.ts, let me just copy that file and paste it like here. So this is our model structure in the API or model classes, you can say. So it is just an ID, name, image, brand, and then price. And brand again is something like we have an object containing the name of the brand name. So if you go to the product list.json, you see we have a brand and then it's an object basically. So in future there might be a possibility that we can put more data inside the brand object. So that's why we have created a separate object or class model for that particular brand. So if you come back to our product.service file, all we need to do is create a class. Let's quickly export it as well. Export class product service, and we will create that class like so. And then what we will need in this specific file, we need to fetch our categories, we need to fetch our product list, and if you want to fetch all the product, then we need to fetch all the product. I mean, we don't need to apply any kind of filter or find like in the array methods. So let me just quickly import these two mock JSON file first. So first thing is const categories JSON, and which is we can use required because we are importing it locally from local JSON file. So inside our we will say let's say like this, so mock data, and then we will have categories.json. And again we will copy the same line, and instead of category JSON we will say product list JSON, and instead of categories we will get the product list JSON from here. So these are the JSON that we are directly getting from these two files, which is available inside our mock data folder. So let's just create a few functions. So first function we would need is get all products, I believe. So yeah, products, and we will create this function. We will write a code into it a bit, and then we need get product list by subcategories IDs. So get product list by IDs, and we need to pass subcategories category IDs. So it would be a number type, number array, and we'll write our code into this function a bit. And the third function we would need is get the actual category. So get categories, and we will get that through cat name, which is category name, which is of type string. So pretty straightforward. Our product service file is getting ready. So what we need to do is we need to fetch all the categories from the category JSON, which has this category name that we will be passing into that function. So what we can do is simply categories JSON dot find, and then we will say we have an item of type category. Okay, so we can import that category from model, and then we will check if our item dot name is equal to, or we can use includes as well, that cat name. All right, so this is pretty straightforward, and we will return that as well. So if you hover over the find, if you look into the documentation for the find, it is something like it will return that item which is matching that particular name. So if you go back to your categories, if you will pass shampoo, it will return that particular subcategories and its product IDs as well. And if you pass hand wash, and remember, if you go there, if you click on the shampoo, we only need this shampoo subcategory, and if it is clicking on the hand wash or tapping on the fragrance, we need that particular subcategory. So that's why I am creating that function to fetch the categories. And then if we are getting product list by IDs, so what we can do is we need our product list JSON. So this JSON will filter out all the products that are containing these subcategories IDs. So we will say filter, and our item should be of subcategory type, right? It's auto importing it, and it will return subcategory IDs dot includes, and we will say I dot ID. So that's it. We will simply return that array. So it will filter out the array and it will return the particular array. When we'll be clicking on that, first thing first, all product means all the products are showing down below. And if you click on the shampoo, then we only need those products which comes under the shampoo category, which is product IDs 1, 2, and 3. So if you go to the product list JSON, so 1, 2, and 3, these three products are belonging to the shampoo categories. So it's pretty straightforward. So this is our product list, and finally, to get all the products, we just simply need to return product list JSON. Nothing fancy. All right, so that is our product service class. So our API folder is ready. Now what we need to do is we need to create a folder which is called views, or you can name it as screens as well. So let's create a folder. It's called views, and inside the views we need to create a file, or maybe a component, which is called product category details.tsx. All right, so we will create that in a bit. So let's move over into our app.tsx files. So what we need to do is displaying that particular component that we will be creating in a bit. Let's save all these things, and we will display that component here. So first thing first, we need to take care of this safe area view. So let's remove this whole thing, or actually instead of this view I can just say safe area view. Safe area view as well, flex of 1. And if we save that file, now you can see our hello world is displaying correctly under this notch. So safe area view is kind of handling the notches up and down for this iOS and Android phones. So instead of this hello world, first thing we need to display is our, let's say we can import status bar from React Native, and we want bar style to something like dark content, dark content. All right, and the third thing we need to do is displaying this product category details component specifically. So let's create from our boilerplate R and F. So it's create the React Native functional component. Yeah, like so. So it's generating the React Native functional component for me. So product category details, it's just a view and a text named as product category details. Let's say if we want to display it under the app.tsx and product category details, auto import it, and nothing fancy, just save it, and you will see product category details text is being displayed here, which is here. All right, so what we going to need to do is we need few things inside this particular component. So first thing first, if you go back here, we need a product header. So this is kind of a header, and then these are the horizontally scrollable list, and then we have actual grid. So we will use a flat grid here, which comes from React Native Super Grid. So I have already installed that in my dependencies. It's called React Native Super Grid. If you copy that, and you can go there and fetch its npm like so, and you can see it's fairly super useful when you want to display some grids on inside your React Native application. So it has many options, like you can create a section grid, simple grid, something like that, and you can just simply use that component like flat grid, which is directly imported from here. So it's pretty straightforward library. We would use that inside our product category details. So first thing first, we need to create our UI, basically our product header. If we create our product header, let's say inside the views, okay, so our common component should be reside inside our folder name components, and inside the components we will create first file name, which is called product details, or we can say header.tsx. Oops, I think I mistakenly create the folder instead of file. Let me create a file. It says product details header.tsx, like so, and we will again rnfe functional component. It will generate our product header like so. And if you go back, let me close other files so that we can clearly see this. Okay, so these are the two things. So inside our product details, let me just quickly display product category details header like so. And if we save the files, you will see we have product details header. And let's say if I want to display some text, and this is product cat screen, let's save it, and you see this text is also displaying here, but we don't need this for now. We just need to focus on the details header that we will going to create now. So what we will going to do is first we need some UI to build up. So first we create this view style, and what I can do is I can copy this style that I have already created so that it will save some time. So this is my style files. So and we can import that style sheet from React Native, and then we have all app color things. So what we can do is we can create another folder. It's called utils. So again guys, folder structure is very important so that it can separate out your logic from your UI. If we want to do something with the API, we can go into the API folder and create our services as many as we want. And again, this is the util folder I have separated out, and I can name that file like colors.ts, like so. So inside the color.ts, I can just quickly grab colors that I have already created. So it's exporting that app colors thing, nothing fancy, and it is residing inside my color.ts file. And if you go there and if you import that color things, you can directly import it like so. So these are our style that we will going to use in our product details header. So first thing, we need to create the style for this view. So for style, we will just say margin horizontal, and let's give it a 20 so that it can create some margin from up and down from the page, sorry, from left to right. And then we can create another view inside, and it's called so inside that view, what we need in the header part is our main header image, and then the horizontal list view. So let's use the image, directly import from React Native, and inside that image what we need to do is creating a source using the source prop, and we can use directly require, and require is something like we have the asset folder already. If you can see, I have an asset folder and this image is already residing inside the png image. So asset slash personal care image dot personal care dot png. So this would be our source, and we will say resize mode to stretch, and then we will use style equals common. Don't worry about that, this style is residing inside here. So common style is like width of 100%, height is 170, and border radius of 20. So what we can do is we can get our style const and equals to, it will be directly coming from our styles down below, and we can get the common from here. So these are our common style inside the image. Then this image has an opacity on top of it, and then there is a text which is a heading kind of thing like personal care. So what we can do, keeping in within the same view where our image is residing, we can say another view. All right, and we can close it, self close like this, because we don't need children inside, we just need some styling. So style is something like, what we need to do, we need a style of our opacity view and common style. So this is our opacity view, we are having an opacity of 0.4, position absolute, justify center, align items, and then background of color of black. So due to this opacity, it will display like this, you will see in a bit. So let's say we need common as well as we need opacity view. So opacity view, we can again get it from here, opacity view, and then we will say opacity view like so. And then we need the text as well, so we will create a text within the same view, and we will just say category name. So whatever will be our category name, we will display on this text. So first we will create the style. So in that style we need category name style, which is residing down below. That name, we can copy that, and we can again destructure like this from our styles. So this will be our category name, and then we will need an horizontal scroll view. So let's quickly create the scroll view, and scroll view will be fetching it from React Native. And inside the scroll view, what we need to have is the touchable opacity, so that these horizontal items are clickable or touchable. So let's create touchable opacity like so, and then after the touchable opacity, we need some horizontal scroll items. So what we're going to do now is fetching our product service as an object, and then we need to fetch all the other things from the props. So I can just copy that, and I can fetch all the things from our parent component, and we will be passing it inside our props. So prop is just basically an interface, because we are using TypeScript. So we just need to create this props thing, where we will be getting this product service object subcategory as an array, and then we can just simply say our props is like props and like so. So we are getting each thing from our props, and we can also destructure it like this. So if you don't want to use all these const here, you can just simply destructure your props directly from here and use it. I can show you. So instead of props, let's say if I need all these things, right, let me just quickly copy and paste. I will be back in a bit after. So here we go, I destructure all the things which I am passing through the props here as a prop, so we can directly use these things. So let me complete my destructuring styles as well here. If I can paste it, so I can get all the styles down below. And let's just quickly create the props for the horizontal scroll view. So inside horizontal scroll view, what we need, we say shows horizontal scroll indicator to false, because we don't want to see the scroll indicator. I can show you later on as well. And then we will just pass on the horizontal prop, so it will be scrolling horizontally. And then in the style section, we just need a simple thing which is called padding vertical, and we can just say 20. Alright, so these are the styles or props for the scroll view, horizontal scroll view. And inside our touchable opacity, what we need to do is creating again this style prop. And inside this style prop, what we need is subcategory selector, like so. And then we can pass on some more styling like this. So what we need is, we need to apply a check if our category selected category ID is there. Let's say in this image all products are selected, so we need a background color like blue, and if it is not selected, we will display it like gray. So it's a simple check. So let's say in background color, we would say if selected category ID equals to 0. 0 means we have all the products. So app colors dot subcategory selector. So if you go to the color, so we have subcategory selector color is like blue this way. And if it is not, then we need to display app colors dot gray. So it's pretty simple. So we have this background color for this touchable opacity. And then what else we need, on press for this, and on pressing of this specific item, what we need is calling an arrow function, and we will say set selected category ID. So it is basically belonging to, okay, so if we go up there on change selected category ID, on change selected category ID, so we can use that directly on change select category ID, and we will pass into 0. Okay, and then we will say set product list. So it's again not the set product list, on product list change, and it is like this. And we will say product service dot get all products, like so. We will call this method all products. It will fetch all the products, and it will set the products for all the categories. And then we need a text component, and we will say all products down below. Inside this touchable opacity, we will say all products. So this is basically the 0th item of our horizontal scroll view, which is all products, and remaining we want to fetch it from the subcategories. So how we gonna do that? So below that touchable opacity, we can say our subcategories dot map, and we will have category of type subcategory, and it will return our UI for the remaining part, like so. So what we are going to do is we will going to select or copy our above touchable opacity, because we need the same, and we will paste down here. Now what we are going to do is, instead of 0, we will say cat.id. if it is the selected category ID, then we will display the blue color, otherwise gray color. And here we will say on change of the selected category id, we will say just pass it on cat.id, like so. And we will also need get product list by ids, and we will say from our category dot product ids, like so. And then down below in our text, what we will say, instead of this we will say cat.id. Don't worry about that, you will be understand the whole concept in a bit. And I will say cat.name. Alright, we're going to save that, but before that we need to pass on the props from here. So let me just quickly grab the state that we will need, just copy that so that we can save some time. We have this imported function here, and use state from React directly, and then we will fetch the list through our use effect thing. Okay, so we will paste that use effect here. So import that use effect from React, and you see my comment here using set timeout to mock HTTP request, so that we can display some kind of loader before displaying our mock mock data. Alright, so I just grab the props for the details header. These are all the props that we are passing in this specific component, and their values will going to fix in a bit, so don't worry about that. So what we need to do now is we need our selected category ID. So this particular selected category ID we are getting from our state, and subcategories and its name is we are getting directly from our categories object, like so. Let's put C before that so it can resolve that. So our product details header is ready. So it's just doing fetching our selected category ID. So by default we can say it's 0, so that it can select the all product thing. And then we have subcategories and its name from the category part, which we are getting from here. So product service is returning us a particular category. We are passing it category name. So in our case our category is personal care, so we are passing that. Let's save this real quick, and here we go. We have our horizontal list, and if we click on that we can easily change the color, and we will display the grid down below. So there is a warning, it says each child should have the key thing while we are doing this particular thing. So when you are map data the whole thing, you need some key as well. So let's say key should be our cat.id, like so. Save it and your warning will be gone. So the next thing we need to take care of is our text should be centered here. So let's see what's wrong with that. So we have our category name, like so. So now it will be changed to our category name that we are passing dynamically. So we'll say category name. Let's save it and see if we are getting the category name. Yeah, here we go, personal care. So on that view, on top of image, we need to pass in the style as well, which is like cover image container, like so. If we save that, you see our heading is now centered as well. So inside this cover image container, if you see down below, it is just aligning the item and justifying the item to center, nothing's fancy. So this is our product detail header along with the horizontal scrollable list. So what we need to do next is fetching something which is called React Native supergrid. I would say let's import that React Native supergrid, and we need to use that flat grid down below. So let me just copy that flat grid which I have created already down below in this view. Okay, so if we paste like this, it will say the returning function should have a single parent. So we can put empty fragments like so, and we need this product grid item as well. So product grid item, I can just copy that into my component folder just to save time. So this is our product grid item. Let's import it. And what this product grid item is doing, it's just making our view so that we can display it. Oops, let's undo it. Yeah, so that it can display all these grid items. So what it's doing basically is our main view have a main container, and then we have an image, and then we have a view with all three text like pricing, our item name, and brand name. So these are the things. So brand name is something like grayish bold color, and grayish color and bold, and then we have a black bold our item name, and then our black bold item price. So if you see the brand style, I have already put like so. So font weight is bold, margin vertical, giving some font size as well, similar to our product name, price, something like that. So if we save that, you will see our products are displaying down below. And as we can click on all the product, it will displaying all the 9 products that we have down below. And if you click on the shampoo, it will only display you these 3 shampoo products. And if you click on the hand wash, it will display like so. And if you click on the fragrance, it will be filtering out our list down below. And if you click again the all product items, it will display like so. So this is pretty straightforward. I know this code can be refactored more to follow more best practices as well, but in the next video I will definitely show you tap of this item to display a full product details on the next screen, having implementation of the React navigation stuff and all that. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.